They say genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. For most of my life, I thought that was just a tired cliche, something people without true talent told themselves to feel better. I believed I was different. I was Elias Thorne, a watchmaker, and I didn't just fix timepieces. I breathed life into them. My workshop was a museum of my genius, but it was also a graveyard. On every surface lay a beautiful, intricate beginning. Clock with a half-carved mahogany case, a pocket watch with a stunning but silent movement, a chronometer with gears polished to a mirror shine but never assembled. I worked only when the muse visited, when a fire of inspiration lit up my soul. And when that fire flickered and died, as it always did, I would simply move on, leaving another beautiful ghost behind. My shop, inherited from my father, was failing. The silence in it wasn't peaceful. It was the sound of dwindling hope. Then, one crisp autumn afternoon, an elderly woman brought in a legend, the starlight regulator. It was an antique masterpiece. A clock so complex that its celestial dials were said to track not just hours but constellations. It hadn't ticked in over 50 years. Every other watchmaker in the city had tried and failed. For me, it was a thunderclap of motivation. This was it. This was the project that would prove my brilliance, the one masterpiece that would silence all the whispers of my inconsistency. For the first week, I was a man possessed. I barely ate or slept. The workshop buzzed with energy as I sketched diagrams, cleaned ancient gears, and felt the familiar, intoxicating rush of creation. This, I told myself, was what it felt like to be a true artist. But then, the inevitable happened. I hit a wall. Single, minuscule gear refused to align. It was a tedious, frustrating problem requiring hours of patient, repetitive work filing a surface by less than a hair's breadth, testing it, and filing again. There was no glory in it, no sudden flash of insight. The fire of inspiration turned to cold ash. The starlight regulator, once a symbol of my destiny, now felt like a lead weight on my workbench. Days turned into a week, and I found every excuse not to touch it. The beautiful ghost was claiming another victim. Defeated, I began cleaning out my father's old desk, planning to sell the shop. Tucked away in a dusty drawer, I found a small, leather-bound journal. It was his diary. Father Samuel Thorne was considered the greatest watchmaker of his generation. He opened it, expecting to find pages filled with profound secrets and tales of divine inspiration. What I found shocked me. The entries were boring. Monday, spent 8 hours polishing the pinion for the Harrison clock. My fingers ache. Tuesday, the mainspring I ordered was the wrong tension. A full day wasted. We'll start again tomorrow, Wednesday. Finally got the escapement right. It took 73 small adjustments. Page after page detailed not brilliant flashes of genius, but a relentless, stubborn commitment to the craft. He showed up every single day, whether he felt like it or not. Near the back of the book, I found a line that stopped my heart. Had written, "An artist who waits for inspiration will build a gallery of beautiful doorways, but never a single room." I looked around my workshop at all my beautiful, unfinished doorways. In that moment, I understood. My father's secret wasn't a more powerful muse. It was a more powerful engine. His secret was discipline. I didn't sell the shop. The next morning, I made a new rule for myself. From 9 o'clock until 1 o'clock, 4 hours every single day, I would work on the starlight regulator. No excuses. It didn't matter if I felt uninspired, tired, or frustrated. I would simply sit at the bench and work. The first few days were torture. My mind screamed for distraction, as the work felt like punishment, but I held to my promise. I focused not on finishing the magnificent clock, but on filing one tiny tooth on one tiny gear. I focused on polishing one small screw. And slowly, a strange thing began to happen. The resistance started to fade. In the quiet rhythm of the repetitive work, I found a sense of peace. A deep, quiet satisfaction began to grow, not from some grand vision, but from the simple, honest act of doing the work. I was falling in love with the process, not just the promise of the outcome. Weeks turned into a month. One afternoon, after hundreds of microscopic adjustments, the troublesome little gear clicked perfectly into place. It wasn't a moment of thunderous revelation, but a quiet, satisfying click. From there, the other pieces began to fall into line. My hands, guided now by habit and persistence, moved with a confidence I'd never known. Finally, the day came. With a gentle nudge to the pendulum, a soft worry filled the room, and for the first time in half a century, the starlight regulator began to tick. Its celestial dials began their slow, silent dance. It was the most beautiful sound I had ever heard. I had not only repaired a clock, I had mended myself. Motivation is the spark that ignites the fire, the glorious burst of light that shows you the path. But it is a fleeting guest. Discipline is the engine that drives you down that path, day after day, especially when the light is gone and the road is dark. It's the quiet promise you make to yourself to simply show up. So, when you don't feel like it, when the inspiration has vanished, don't wait for it to return. Just start. Pick up the tool. Write one sentence. Take one small step, because masterpieces are not born in a single flash of brilliance. They're built piece by patient piece, in the sacred, quiet hours of disciplined work.